Let's call to order the meeting. We have a quorum. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Morning, no?
Any voting conflicts that we need to declare?
No conflicts. Oh, wait, we gotta call wrong.
Let me call roll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's
Mr. Gonzalez. Ms. Weinberg.
Here.
Mr. Fernandez Guzman. Mr. Rodriguez Pina. Ms. Fano. Mr. Vasquez. Chair Gutierrez. Vice Chair Perez. We have four. We have four.
Excellent.
Do any members of the board have any voting conflicts?
No.
No. Any public comments?
Mr. Chairman, before,
You're the public?
No. On the public comment, there's an agenda item 4B, which is for the board's consideration. And the representative of the company is prepared to present on the new company, and that's at your discretion. So I'll just say that while it's public.
Well, for the moment, other than
that,
the agenda item, is there any public comment? Hearing none, we'll move forward. The action item, we have to approve the summary of the meetings of our last meeting.
So, second.
Any votes against? Hearing none, it's unanimously passed. It's gone. We have item 4B, which is a procurement contract RFQ 1401, which is the advertising service contract, which I guess you can brief us.
Mr. Diaz, Mario, go ahead.
Sure. Last year, we entered into a contract with MGS Communications for our advertising contract. In March 2014, actually, is when we had all the contracts signed. October of 2014, MGS merged with several other companies from around the state and around the nation to form Common Ground at MGS, as I'm aware of it. Courtney Cunningham is a principal at the merge, the new company, and he is here to give you a briefing of what occurred and what it is. So the item is to assign the contract with MGS to the newly formed contract or newly formed company, Common Ground.
A couple of questions. One, you're recommending the approval of the assignment of the contract?
Yes, sir. Nothing changes from our perspective. Our team is still intact. The people are still intact. The rates are still intact. The scope of services stay the same.
And the contract allows for assignment
Yes.
under our agreement.
Yes.
I have
Sure.
some questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you define the current utilization that you're having and engagement that you're having with the agency?
Sure. Their number one task currently is the Advantage program. They were extensively used to not only create the initial 2 layers of the program to make sure that even if someone doesn't qualify for the rebate, there is still something, an incentive that they can still receive. That was at the request of the board soon after the policy was made. They have also been active in the communication as to how we would educate the public on what the program is. When we first kicked off the program, we had several questions as to how it works. Where do I sign up? I already have a SunPass account. Why can't I log in? And there were a bit of confusion. They assisted with making sure that everybody had a response, either a phone call or an email, explaining whatever issue that they had a concern with. They also do the programming side.
So you use them beyond the paperwork?
We have in the scope the ability to use them for several different things, from website development and coding, which we do use them for to create that, as well as the verbiage, and also to make sure, because it's related extensively just to what they created, and with us going live, I needed additional assistance, and I used them for that purpose. So they essentially helped create the program. Outside of maybe myself, there's no one better that knows that program and how it's supposed to work better than they are. I thought it would be best to have them answer some of those questions as well.
Just a clarification.
Sure.
The board created the Advantage program. They're
Correct.
They're helping implement the program.
The implementation, right. The creation of the implementation, yes.
Thank you.
No, I know that. I was listening to him and I was saying, okay, maybe he's nervous because now I'm really going to ask him. I was going to say, really? They created it, right?
No, the board, of course, the
I was
board
going to go
created
for it, but thank you, Marie. I have a couple of more questions. But now I really like the way he.
Please take into account that he's nervous.
it.
I'm gonna go for it, man. Moving forward, you see using them more?
We use them outside of just the Advantage. They've helped create a lot of and they're continuing to create a lot of the new refacing of the website, everything that we've been taking
You love
into
to use
account.
the word create
I know.
because you already have a website established, so
Correct,
we're helping you.
Reface it, reprogram. One of the problems that we
Design.
ran into was on the coding aspect of the website. The software has been updated 3 or 4 years ago, and we haven't kept up on that up there because our software is working just fine with our website. But in order for us to reface it, we would need to do some upgrading on the coding of the website itself. So they're
So in
assisting.
other words, they do programming too.
They have that scope of
So they
service in the
have that
contract. Yes.
capacity to do
Yes.
programming. So the answer is yes,
Yes.
you see the need for the ongoing
Correct.
service.
Yes.
Okay. And then my third question, don't use the word create. Third question is their performance.
Their performance to date, I believe, is very satisfactory. They've been able to communicate with us regularly. Anytime I have had a question or a concern, they've addressed it right away. When there was a concern on one end, they immediately replied and got on the job to make sure it was done correctly, it was done right, so that there were no issues. There have been some bumps in the road where any new vendor coming into a scenario where they haven't been working in this type of environment before is something I expected, but they've begun that process where I've already seen that learning curve already change, and they're starting to be almost like a well-oiled machine. They're starting to just work, and there's not so much of the back and forth anymore.
Okay.
So I just want to clarify, they're on task assignment, right?
Correct. Only when we need them is when we use them.
Okay, so when we had our budget hearing, when was our budget hearing?
In April.
April.
May this year.
May.
May this year.
May, June,
Yes.
July, August, September, October, November. That's 6 months, right?
Mhm.
How many months does a quarter have?
3.
When we were at the budget hearing as a board, we voted on getting quarterly budget updates on the communication budget.
Hmm.
It's twice 2 quarters, and we have not received an update. So I just want to find out the status of that.
Sure, I have all the information here. Since the budget year has begun, they have, from a PC perspective, we have paid out various line items, especially with the community events that we've had, as well as doing some of the newspaper, excuse me, educational campaigns about the Advantage program, as well as the going live and the projects that we have going on. And we have certain information with regards to on the MGS and what they've occurred since July for the various staff authorizations. We have that in our treasurer's report regularly, and to date occurred for MGS for this budget year. They've occurred $143,049.86, and that is for task authorizations on the MDX Advantage program, on the assistance with the social media monitoring and updating and making sure that the accounts are in line with our policy as well. That also includes various toll-by-plate inserts that we did in association with Steve to let them know our community in the toll-by-plate sector, to let them know when we're going live and to get their Sun Pass, to really educate them on that end, as well as another one with regards to the Advantage program as well. They've done various I like to call it public relations. What it is the creation of the artwork, of the design function, the graphic design, all the administrative aspect with talking to a meeting, going through the scope of the services, and the regular updates of working through a project as well. So all those different line items totaled the 143,049.86. From a advertising perspective, which is the Advantage advertisement in the community newspapers, the Herald, that we've done, I think, twice, along with the information. What we did was called an advertorial. And what that is we had an advertisement piece, which was about the Advantage program. But then I took advantage of some of the space within that advertising to talk about the impact we have on the community, how many jobs we create, what the 1.5 billion economic impact occurs by our work program, what projects are coming online, and what benefits those projects do. And that came about. That total so far spent to date has been $57,700. Available balance in that account is 142, and I'm expecting to really start using a lot of that now with the Advantage starting in January. I'm getting together
The Advantage rebate.
the rebate piece of it, which is really the incentive. And then we have the public relations aspect also carries the memberships to the various organizations that we're members to, IBTTA, ITS America, ITS Florida, Team Florida, and so forth. That has come, year to date is $44,644.52. And then we have the community outreach, which is the events that we help sponsor, so that we can have a table to reach a lot of the community that's going through certain types of events. It's been movie nights with throughout the community that our elected officials hold. It's been in association with schools, the Miami International Book Fair, so we handed out the workbooks that we created 2 years ago. We were able to extend it for multiple years and really hand out for free to the children about road safety. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback and even worked with the schools and all. To date, we've been able to spend $10,849, and we're starting to look at another avenue, hopefully to start 2015, is with the DMVs, where people get their licenses and their registrations. We're looking to start partnering with them and really start targeting a lot of the areas. One thing we ended up finding was with the calls that we were getting, I talked to our customer service group and I asked them, what areas of the county have you noticed you're getting a lot of calls from that need sun passes? And they told me a lot of the southeast portion of their county, they're seeing a lot of calls from that area. So we want to first target those DMVs and start working our way throughout the county. They're very receptive. They love the idea, and it's going to help on the toll by plate side. So far, we spent $10,849, so that'll continue to be expended as we go through. And then the actual support for those events, the labor it is to actually be in there and man the tables. We've had several events here at MDX where we'll have 4 or 5 hours. People will come in either during lunch or after work and sign up for sun passes. We've had events where sittings here where we've had just a handful of people, and we've had 200 people, depending on the time and if it's a weekend or if it's a weekday. So we try to really gauge and make it flexible so that at any point anybody can kind of come. To date, we've spent $45,586 on attending those events.
So the total that we've spent,
The total that we've
Less than
spent,
$500,000.
And our budget was?
our budget was 1.3 inclusive of the Advantage program.
part of my reasoning behind this is so that when we do get to the budget meeting, one of the big items that we always attack, for lack of a better word, is communication. I want to have substantiating information that backs up why we want to or not want to increase the communication
I
budget.
think Madam Chair, Board Member O'Connell, if I may, Mr. Chair, I think we just went live with the last 2 highways, and I go back and I've seen this happen with the extension of 836. Then we did the going live on 3. This program that we put in today and the amount of money that we've spent for it and the targeting, I think has been the most effective that we've had of all of them. It's truly looked at the educational piece. It's truly engaged in a conversation where it needed to engage in a conversation and stayed away from areas that we didn't need to be in. And one of the requests I wanted the board to consider, and it's an administrative issue, but I just want to bounce it off of you here. The Advantage program, the rebate program, which open enrollment starts in January. The way the policy is written, it says 30 days it stays open. This is the first time. This is the first time people are going to be asked to sign up and try to get, this potential rebate if they're a daily commuter. One of the things we've talked about is extending that open enrollment longer, much longer, to 60 days, 75 days, whatever it is. As long as we have it closed and we can define the amount prior to preparing a budget, I think it's worth our while, and we'd let people know.
So 90 days wouldn't impact you?
No, I think what we would do is leave it open 90 days, and then we bring the budget towards the end of May and bring it to
Right.
June's board meeting, I think,
Right.
to accommodate
See,
the public.
Then you should.
Right, because the way the rebate program works, it's a line item on our budget, so we have to fill in our budget based on the number of people that potentially sign up and all of that. So
Maybe you wanna
that's
take it
our-
But I think you need to be proactive about what
Right.
this means, because people don't know that I need to sign up so I can get a discount as I ride my road.
Yeah, you don't want to wait
If
for
you
it to
don't tell
be
people,
open.
then they don't know.
Yeah, that's the
People need to know how to sign up as
Exactly.
well. Because I've already been asked that question of, well, do you do it through your SunPass or can you do it independently of that?
that's
And is it online?
Yes.
Do you have to do it?
Yeah.
And do you have it ready that you could do?
yeah.
Yes, we have currently the 2 other stages. There were 3 stages developed. One, if you don't have a SunPass, you would sign up. We can mail you a SunPass transponder, a mini sticker, and they would get regular newsletter updates from us. If they have a SunPass, they would receive what's called a discount card, where at various vendors that asked to be part of the program, when they heard we were doing it, like, wait a minute, we want to be part of that. One of the Miami Marlins, for example, pursued us to make sure that they're on it, so that if someone's at a game, they can receive, I think it's 10% at their store off of their purchase. And we did that because the board recognized that when you do the rebate program, the 3rd level, there's certain requirements that people have to meet to be able to receive that rebate. That means that 100% of the people within the program may or may not qualify for that. So what happens to those people who may not qualify, who are not a commuter on our system, but they are a customer on our system? Why not have something in place that they can use, however little or as much as it can be? And that's where that discount card came from. We're looking, and we've created the program so that it can evolve. And we did it this first year as quickly as we can, so that in July sign up could already start and it can be something that's moving forward. And it was, sign up did start on time. Now once the rebate program is in place and the closing comes in, then we're looking to maybe start evolving to match some of the other things we do within the agency. Are there small and local businesses that would like to be a part of that discount program? Keeping it more local, keeping it more central. How can we do that? Reaching out. I've already had two companies call and say, hey, how can I get on? How can I help? They have a restaurant throughout a couple throughout the county. I said, right now, this is what we're focusing on, but I'm going to start looking at all that again in the next few months. Let me just take down your contact information. We can start talking again. So we have that flexibility to start evolving and tweaking as we see people need it, they like it. They might say, you know what, we love the rebate. We actually see that people qualified very easily. It's not an insane number. And we might just say, we really don't need the discount card anymore. So we have that options.
Chairman Gutierrez?
2 things. Getting back to the conversation.
Okay.
2 things. So you do find that the agency is going to be assisting you in all this program that you just addressed?
Yes.
Okay, well, make sure they also assist you doing the following. Very quick at a glance, not detailed, just a little quick summary on a quarterly basis, one sheeter that basically specifies grassroots went to these places. Media advertising bought these agents, bought these radio stations, bought these newspapers. You understand?
Mhm.
That kind of stuff. Bottom line, X amount of money.
Okay.
Bottom line. I didn't say each one. Bottom line.
Right.
Because I don't need to know that you spend 45,000, not here, not in this meeting, in that quick, that you spend 45, because 45 may sound like a lot, but I don't know how many hundreds of hours that meant.
Right.
So you understand? So for me, I don't want to get caught up in that little item. I want to see the whole picture. And I think that's what we're looking for. That quick, at a glance, quarterly. This is what the agency is involved in. This is what it's doing. It's doing these chamber meetings, it's invested here, it's gone here, it's doing it. Very quick, very pretty summary, and they can help you also
No.
design it.
Yes.
That's what we want. So you're recommending, they're good, you need them, they're good.
Yes.
I'm related to the agency on the program. So I'm a SunPass customer, but not a regular user of MDX routes. I travel everywhere. How did we communicate the program? I haven't seen anything.
Sure. We've had various advertisements in community newspapers and larger publications. We've been discussing it on radio shows that we've been on. When someone covers us just recently on the toll conversion, we've mentioned to every media outlet, and most of them covered that we're beginning a discount program in January, so that people can start signing up. And we SunPass sent out an email to all Miami-Dade customers that
That's
they had
what I
on
wanted to
email,
get to, because
yeah,
I didn't
which was
see
about
such an
3.
email. So say I don't read the paper, I don't watch
And
TV.
here's
So-
the issue of why we did this discount in the first place. It's not just a discount, it's the ability for us to get information from the customer so we can
Right,
communicate.
right, because we talked about this last
'Cause
meeting on that database.
I'm a SunPass customer, and I got the email, but it went to spam. And I didn't know I got the email for almost a month and a half that I looked in my spam folder, and that's the issue. And a lot of our customers, a lot of folks, it goes to their spam folder.
Yeah.
I don't know why, we have no idea, but since I have to go through SunPass to communicate, rather than try to fix that, this was our method, and that was the whole point of this discount, was to try and get information on our customers so we can have, one-on-one communications about our programs, our
Right.
projects, road closures, detours, all the different types of things that are occurring, which we don't have that communications today, Board Member Weinberg. I mean, we have it with our toll by plate. We've got about a database of about 10,000. We have people who, volunteer and give us, so we give them out the road information. But the general public, as a customer, I can't communicate with them. I have to communicate, and it's part of a bigger message, not just an MDX message. So.
Right now, but I check my spam daily,
Yeah.
and I have not seen it.
Mine went
But
to
I
spam.
remember we had a long conversation
Yeah.
about reaching that SunPass database.
We sent it out.
One of the marketing presentations for the campaign we're going on. So I jokingly said, well, so then I expect an email this afternoon, but no, there was no.
No.
So there, where do we stand on that?
They did send out all the emails. For whatever reason, instead of it being that following week, it turned out to be 3 months later. Javier and I personally ended up talking to the director before staff moved on it. That's always an issue with trying to communicate through SunPass. For us, it's never as timely as it should be. It's an important message. It should have gone out sooner, but for whatever reason, it took several months for staff to send it out.
Your explanation?
They had other messages that they were communicating.
I don't get any message.
Yeah,
I don't get
Luce, actually, Terry just brought it up, because we deal with community. the SunPass system, when they mail it out, isn't 100% foolproof. There are people who don't get it. Even though they say they're pushing it out to everybody, there's people that don't get it. They push it out to everybody who has put in a website, who's put in their email address that is actually valid and all that. There's no way for us to know if those things have been updated, if people haven't changed. So when they tell us we pushed it out to all the SunPass customers, we have to take that at face value and then, deal with the complaints as they come
As
in.
a test, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't get it. I have everything
But
corrected.
mine went to spam.
So it has its flaws. The SunPass system has its flaws.
Thank you.
Good question. Is it the will of the committee to hear from the vendor, or do we move on?
Sure, when he's here.
Cunningham, you recognize.
Sure, thank you so much. I have a presentation. I thought we were going to be in a bigger room, but I can
Come over here.
I can show this to you all and just tell you a little bit about this and why we did this. Okay. I'm sorry for you all. All right, so it's Common Ground MGS, and this is a combination of a firm out of Chicago, which is Common Ground, a firm out of Miami, MGS, and a firm out of New York called the Vidal Partnership, and my firm. And this is the first and largest, obviously, the first and largest minority-owned holding company of communications firms in the United States. It is made up of, as I said, myself, Manny Vidal, Vidal Partnership, Common Ground, which is Ahmad Islam, Sherman Wright, and MGS, which is Al Garcia Serra and Manny Machado. These are some of the highlights, and I just want to tell you about who you're getting here. I'm old, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read this. The Vidal Partnership, 3-time Advertising Age Multicultural Agency of the Year, 4-time Advertising Agency A-List Agency, 3-time AHA Creative Awards for the Best in Show winner. Common Ground, Advertising Agency Small Agency of the Year, Black Enterprise Advertising Agency of the Year, winning agency on AMC's The Pitch, a reality show pitting advertising agencies against each other. MGS.com, South Florida Business Journal's 50 Fastest Growing Companies. Garcia Serra, Hispanic Business Entrepreneur of the Year. Manny Machado was Hispanic Ad Advertising Agency Executive of the Year, and he is Manny Machado is the former chairman of AHA, which is a Hispanic ad agency group. Now, we have offices, as I said, in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Miami, and Houston, from which we serve our clients. We have about $40 million in net revenue. We're specializing in cross-cultural communications, created 100% minority-owned and managed. And we're bigger, stronger, deeper, and we're able to deliver more results for our clients on a more consistent basis. Now, these are some of our clients. We say you're known by the company that you keep. As national accounts, Verizon, HBO, Lincoln. We also have Miller Coors. We have Bacardi. And others as national accounts, and NBC Universal, where we have our LA office basically helps NBC Universal say, yes, this is authentic and this is right, or this is not. We've been we've worked on a couple of actually several movies with them, and some television shows as well. And why do we do this? We did this because America's really changing. We're changing, and it's becoming black and brown. And that's the new face of America. And we said, basically, there is somebody out there who has to speak to this community in a really authentic way. And, the general market agencies do it, but they hire 1 or 2 people. and they say, okay, we have a multicultural division. And we believe that we deserve more than that. We believe that our communities need to be spoken to in an authentic and real way. It's not just putting a black guy in or a Hispanic person in a commercial and going, oh, okay, well, that's multicultural. It's about really communicating to the cultures and what's real and what's authentic. And that has not been done. But some of the interesting statistics off of this, over 50% of U.S. cities now have majority non-white populations. The non-Hispanic white population is projected to peak in 2024. Between 2038 and 2043, the U.S. population will be majority minority. And since 2011, almost 50% of U.S. births have been to people of color. The country is changing, and it's changing rapidly. So 42% of all millennials, which is the great group that everybody wants to get, multicultural. 43% of all teens, multicultural. 45% of all kids, multicultural. 46% of all births and 39% of all mothers. Right now in the United States, all multicultural. And a couple of weeks ago, Coca-Cola and a lot of other companies came down here to talk about, to address it was the American National Advertising Association, but it was for multicultural. And what the lady from Coca-Cola said, you can't win the future without winning millennials. And you can't win with millennials without understanding multicultural. So when we announced this, it was all over the place. It was in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Adweek, and the industry really woke up and said, this is something great that's happening here, and we need to take a look at it. Common Ground is we're going to be committed to our small business commitment here. There are going to be no staff changes with the merger, and we want you guys to join us because, we just look around this room. You just look at the last names and look at the faces and the people, and we are America. This is the future of what everybody else is going to be experiencing this in a few years, and it's a beautiful thing. Let's see if I can play this for you. I'm going to just play a quick ad.
I'm excited to be a part of Potential with us because it's something I can do. Hey, how you doing? Hey.
This is an ad that we did for Verizon.
One thing I love about this challenge is really it inspires people.
I didn't put Morris Chestnut in there just for the ladies.
The challenge that I'm working with Potential with us is where I go around and get the explain how to use certain devices. Just try to make people aware of how to use things. In a rush, you just need to go there with
The one more challenge is important to me because, in my opinion, I believe a healthier life is a happier life. And when it comes to the community, the healthier community is the more productive community. Next one to the challenge, ready to run? Walk. Ready to walk? Run, dog run. Run, dog run. All right. We got the time.
the biggest thing I want to accomplish is I just want to inspire people, whether it's by my work or, by being able to spend time with them and just being able to touch people in any way positively. That's what I want to do.
I'm really excited to be part of the Potential of Us program because I think it's a movement.
Go to potentialofus.com for all things.
Thank you. If you have any questions, we have to answer.
Thank you, Gordon. Thanks. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Congrats on your merger, by the way.
What's up?
Congratulations on
Thank
your
you so
merger.
much. Appreciate it.
All I read was no fiscal impact. The team remains the same. No direct impact. I move we accept the recommendation of staff. Transfer the contract.
Second.
Second.
Reassign.
Any votes against? Hearing none, unanimously passed on. Thank you very much for your time. Announcements?
Announcements, board meeting on the 9th of December, and I guess you already heard the previous committee meeting, we adopted policy that will be taken to the board is with multi-officer vehicles. And Mr. Chairman, we hear you. We've dealt with the community as far as the advantage. I get a lot of questions, and they're technical because people are paying attention now. What happens if I get to 65 but I don't get to 66 days? What happens, if I try to sign up on the 32nd day? So people are having that kind of question, and we're trying to address it. What I did stress to them was, look, we've never had a discount program. We knew what our goals were. We wanted to connect with our community, and this was a way to do it. The program can always be tweaked moving forward. We're asking you we're administratively going to extend it to 90 days, which is a great thing. Next year, prior to the budget, we'll see how people signed up. Is there something that we need to do? Is there something that we need to tweak? We're building a system. We're building the guts of the programming to be as adaptable as possible, because we know this is going to adapt in the future. So just to let you know, and we will be communicating this, and the team is all here listening, because that's the number one question people ask. When you guys are doing this, how is it going to affect me? What do I do?
One issue that we discussed a couple of meetings ago was to keep the public officials in the communication stream, to make sure they understand what we're doing, where are our deadlines, because the first complaint people have is, when are they going to finish? Well, if we're going to finish 10 blocks, let's tell people that we finished 10 blocks so that they understand what's happening, how the progress is occurring. And I'd like to see an ongoing communication with our public officials so that we are all very well aware of where we are and where we're going, and what the benefits of what we're doing are. And I guess,
I agree.
all right. Anything else?
Questions?
To adjourn? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you very
No
much.
one against?
Thank you very much.